So I want to ask you a bit about how you guys have been influenced by other businesses and in particular online platforms. So you've got, haven't you, Twitch, 15 million users a day, Steam, 20 million. How have they influenced how you operate at Excel?
I think they've shown a lot of agility in the way they respond to what the community kind of at large wants from them. And, they've adapted the way that their platforms operate to suit those community needs. And I think we've definitely taken that lesson on with what we do. We're always trying to adapt how we deliver content or, what messages we're putting out there to really speak to the community and kind of give them what they want.
It seems like so much is coming from the virtual now. Like even how we're doing this chat now, we're in a green room essentially with a load of cameras and lights pointing at us, but we could be anywhere, couldn't we, with this setup?
Yeah, I mean, very much so. The digital virtual world gives your brand the ability to kind of do what it wants, when it wants, and it's very accessible to people, which is obviously super important.
Yeah, it's just the creative freedom to, start from scratch and build whatever it is you want to build.
And what about though, if you're working not all together at the same time, remote working, how do you keep everyone on board with the culture then?
Yeah, we're a digitally native industry at the end of the day, so we have to be able to work remotely. We have to be able to work when people are in two different parts of the world, and I think we do that well.
I imagine there's a lot of change in your industry. How do you stay relevant?
There's new game titles that come out, it feels like almost on a weekly basis, and who knows what the next title could be, the next Fortnite, it could be the next one that takes over the mainstream and goes huge, and we need to be ready and agile enough to actually adapt to that. Maybe it's pick up a team, maybe it's just create some content in it, but actually be relevant in that game title so that we continue to serve the mass gaming community.
I think one of the things that the viewers are going to be really interested in is like your approach to scaling the business and how you incorporated digital into that. So earlier we spoke to the head of marketing at Excel, Millie Preston, to find out her thoughts on it.
So when looking at scaling an audience on a digital strategy, I think the key is, number one, understand that audience. Who are these pockets of people and how do you identify who they are? Number two, then how do you tailor that message and how do you tailor the tone of voice that's going to suit that audience or that persona? And number three, what sort of content or information do they then want to receive? And I think from a esports and gaming audience in particular, that is raw, behind the scenes, authentic, kind of real-time content and real-time information that they can then feel part of a brand and close to a brand.
Skills is a big issue for all businesses. So how do you make sure at Excel that you have the right skills in your workforce to meet the technology you want to use?
So we have people within our organisation whose job role it is effectively to keep an eye on new platforms as they come out and decide whether or not we have a use for them.
So this is a case of it's constantly refreshing, constantly looking at what everyone's doing and keeping ahead of the game.
Yeah, but both the way we operate internally and the way that we communicate externally can change based on new platforms that come out. So we have to be on top of those and know how to use them best.